York Jets first round selection, fullback, Roger Vick, Texas A&M.
But I think that's before we get kicked off the airwaves for good. I guess satellite, since it's a podcast. Drew, you sent me a list the other day. I think Pro Football Focus did a redraft on how they would – I think you had to take a quarterback, a defensive lineman, a cornerback.
Or a wide receiver.
It was like a quarterback, wide receiver, and defensive player. You had to take those three, and then you had to take a fourth player who was like a wild card. It could be whoever. But you had to do it like – I think you had to take a quarterback in the first – no, you just had to take those players like in 4 rounds. But, Drew, do you have the list up?
I just have the first round.
Yeah, I think that's really what we were just wanting to get to today.
Mm-hmm.
Problem with this list, Drew? What are your problems with it?
I mean, I don't have a lot of problems with it, to be honest. I think it really just depends on what your decision is that you want to make moving forward if you were to redraft. So, meaning we were talking about Tua was taken – I can't say the last name very well. Tua was taken number 16 overall. I'm terrible at saying names. I'm sorry. He's taken number 16 overall. Sandy had a bone to pick that Breeze was picked in front of Tua because Breeze basically only has 1 year left in the league before he goes and does his NBC deal. So, but for me, like I look at it as, okay, if you take Breeze, that means the next couple picks, you're picking guys that you think you can win the ship right now. Whereas if you pick Tua, Joe Burrow, even Dwayne Haskins, who was taken, you're wanting guys who are, multiple. You're looking for the future, you're looking down the road. And so I think if you're going to restart, it really just depends on what you want to do. Obviously Mahomes went first, easy pick. Sandy had another bone to pick that Wilson was taken after Lamar Jackson. But Lamar's like, 22, 21? Wilson's in his 30s, I believe, right?
He's like 29.
Yeah, so like late 20s, early 30s. So like it just depends on what you want to take, in my opinion. The first 26 picks are quarterbacks, obviously. I think after that, the quarterbacks get really thin, and you're gonna then pick guys that you think that you can have a worse quarterback, but then build off of. So
no, dude, Big Ben's at 28. They are not getting thin. Big Ben is not thin. Am I right, Poogie?
He's a little bloated. But I'm pissed off that Kyler Murray got taken before Joe Burrow.
Hello, Drew. You want to finish real quick before we get in?
No. Go ahead.
All right, get it, Pook.
Kyler Murray got taken at 5th overall, and Joe Burrow got taken at 8th. And I'm like, in what world is Kyler Murray a better quarterback prospect than Joe Burrow? Because I'm not fucking living in it. Okay? Yeah, Kyler Murray, he was an air raid quarterback at Allen, Texas. But now he's like, I don't see him ever being better than Joe Burrow in this league. Baker Mayfield at 11 over Jimmy Garoppolo. I'd take Jimmy G or Kirk Cousins over Baker Mayfield. And
Pookie hates Jimmy G.
Yeah, I hate Jimmy G, and I still think that I would take him over Baker Mayfield. But then you got Chris Godwin at 27. And DeAndre Hopkins at 31. Who the fuck is smoking? What are they smoking? That Chris Godwin is better than DeAndre Hopkins? I want to know. I will.
What? What do you do?
Really long time in protest of that.
There you go.
Here. Before you speak, I would like to make an argument about Kyler Murray. I would actually take Kyler Murray over Joe Burrow. Kyler Murray is seeing it firsthand. First of all, in high school, he just ass rapes people. He's very good. But I think in the NFL, his style of play is what it's going to. And I know Joe Burrow, just killed the record books at LSU this last year, but he did not play in the NFL. He hasn't played it down yet. I'd rather give my money to Kyler Murray than to Joe Burrow at the moment. Something else that I just noticed on this list is there's actually two. Well, from what I can see, there's two backup quarterbacks on this list that are projected starters, Jameis Winston and Cam Newton. So to me, it's like, okay, well, like these guys are good. Like people view them as starters, but Jameis is a backup and Cam Newton's not even signed yet. So like where I don't understand why aren't they starting somewhere else? And so for me, it's really interesting in that aspect. And then I think also like I was saying earlier, you gotta take into aspect of age. DeAndre Hopkins I believe he's in his 30s, or he might be in his late 20s. Chris Godwin's like 24 and he just broke out. So like he's probably gonna be one of the top receivers in the next 5 to 6 years. I'm not saying he's gonna be the best. I'm saying he's probably gonna be a top 10, maybe top 5 receiver for the next 10 years.
Okay, so Drew, I actually agree with you. Well, I wouldn't say I agree with you per se. I'd have to think about it. But I disagree with Pookie in that it's not that egregious to have Kyler Murray over Joe Burrow simply for the fact that you said, Drew, about him having a year under his belt, and we know that he can ball. Like, we know he can actually produce in the league. We don't know that about Joe Burrow yet. But that being said, well, hold up, Drew. The more I think about this, the reason why I'm not so high on Burrow right now is simply because of the team he's going to. But if I have a clean slate, and let's just say if I had Joe Brady as my host, if I'm the Carolina Panthers, I would probably take Joe Burrow. I might take Joe. Oh, okay, I'm going to get ripped for this. I only see 2 quarterbacks on this list right now that I would definitively take above Joe Burrow. And I think I'm going to get ripped for saying not Deshaun Watson, but it's Mahomes and Wilson. I think I would take Burrow over everyone else if I had a clean slate.